reproduce. All right, let us look at the 2023 paper. We are almost. So, a lizard detach their tail when threatened by the predator. Which characteristic of living organism is this? So, which characteristic of living organism is this? So, this is what we call sensitivity. The diagram below shows the plant and animal cell. Which of the following or which of the labeled structure is found in both cells? So it is Y, the cytoplasm. Okay, cytoplasm. Which of the following is not a tissue? So blood is a liquid tissue. Epidermis, leaf. The leaf is an organ. So leaf is not a tissue. The graph shows the pH effect on the rate of enzyme-controlled reaction, which later on the graph shows the optimum pH. So the one that shows the optimum pH is the top part there. Question 5. The table shows the result of some food test. Which sample shows food containing both starch and protein? So both starch. So it should be positive, or should be blue black where there's the iodine. So we have blue black iodine. So these we don't need them. Then it should be since we are saying starch and protein, should be purple where there's the butylate. So purple. So since the other purple is down there, these we don't need them for blue. So the answer therefore is what? B. Which nutrient is needed to make hemoglobin in red blood cell? The one that is needed is the iron. A plant has weak cell wall. Which of the following nutrient was the plant lacking? So the plant nutrient that was lacking there, or the plant nutrient that is responsible for this, is what we have here. We have potassium. We have, that is on question what? That is on question 7. So the answer is the calcium. Okay. Then the diagram shows the section through a leaf, which arrow represents the diffusion of oxygen during photosynthesis. So oxygen comes out, which is A. Tick feeding on the blood of a dog is an example of parasitism. Parasitism. The dental formula of a dog is this one. The total number of teeth in the mouth of a dog is 42. Find the value of X. How do you find it? So you know that the dental formula, you add what is on top and what is down equals to that. Then you add what is at the bottom and also on top, or on top and the bottom, then multiply by 2. What I mean is that let us add what is on top. So 1 plus X plus, let me say, X plus 1 plus 4 plus 2. Then divide, plus what is at the bottom? 3 plus 1 plus 4 plus 3. Okay, so multiply by 2 equal to 42. So we are going to add this and that: 5, 7, 10, 11, 15, 18. So 18 plus X multiplied by what? 2 equal to 42. So that is 36 plus 2x is equals to 42. Okay, then we are going to have 2x is equals to 42 minus 36. What is the answer when you subtract there? 42 minus 36, that is 6. So 2x is equals to 6. Divide 2, divide 2. X is equals to 3. So therefore the top part there is 3. So the answer is B. That is how you work on this one. So that is how you work this one out. The diagram shows the human alimentary canal. Which labeled structure produces gastric juice? It's the stomach. This question we've answered at some point. The diagram shows the gill of a fish. In which labeled part does gaseous exchange take place? So it is in T, the filament. So the answer here in which labeled part is D. The diagram below shows the life cycle of a mosquito. Which stage in the life cycle of a mosquito transmit pathogens? So the active one is the odd one. So adult is the one that transmits pathogens. The stigma against people living with HIV and AIDS can be reduced by sensitization. We answer such a question at some point. The diagram below shows the storage organ in plants. Also, this question we came across at some point. So this is the bulb, this is the tuber, this is the rhizome. So we are looking for rhizome. We are looking for P, that is the rhizome. So this is no rhizome, then tuber, then tuber, comb, tuber. Where is it? Q is right here. That is the tuber. Okay, then comb. So this is comb, not bulb. Okay, so this is the comb. So the answer here is what? Is the D. So question 15, the answer is the D. Okay, then the table below shows the blood group in human being. Which blood group can be donated by any person? Which blood group can be donated by any person? So the blood group that can be donated by any person is blood group O. Okay, this is the universal. The blood group that can be donated by any person. So universal donor. The blood group O is called universal donor, can donate blood to anyone. So it's D. The diagram below shows the section of human heart. What is the function of a structure Q? So prevent the backflow of blood to P. Prevent backflow of blood into P. So this is the answer. Where is urea made and where it is removed? So it's made in the liver, not kidney, and removed by the kidney. So it's C. The diagram below shows the section through the human skin, which labeled structure releases sweat on the hot day, on the hot, sunny day. So the one that releases sweat is a sweat gland, which is the C. Which of the following is not an endocrine gland? So pancreas, it is. Testis, it is. Thyroid, so it is salivary. When the nervous system responds to stimuli, there are several stages leading to response. The following are the stages. The central nervous system processes the information. So the first part is the information is sent to the central nervous system. So this is the 3, the first part. Then the information is processed. So central nervous system processes the information. So 1. Then the receptor detect the stimulus. So it all starts with 2. The receptor detect the stimulus, then they sent to the central nervous system, 3, then processed, then impulse sent to the muscles, 5. I hope we'll be able to find. Then response is produced. So we are supposed to move in 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 5. So the answer is A. So the answer here is what? The answer is the A. Okay, the diagram below shows the lens that is used to correct deafness in human eye. Which defect is corrected by this lens? Which defect is corrected by this lens? So the defect that is corrected by this lens, it is long sight. Okay, long sight. And this is because we are using the convex lens to collect this one. So long sight. The diagram below shows part of the mammalian skeleton. Which of the following correctly identifies the bone W and type of skeleton? So this is an endocrine, this is an endoskeleton. This is an endoskeleton. So now, if it is an endoskeleton, so those that are saying exoskeleton, no. Then endoskeleton, scapular. Is that a scapular? No. So the answer is the fibula. Then of course the the endoskeleton. The diagram below shows the experiment carried out to establish the process of tropism. What type of tropism was exhibited by the shoot of the potted plant? Now look at this. The shoot grew away from the what? From gravity. So this is negative geotropism. This is negative geotropism. I know some of you are going to say, no, this is positive phototropism. No, this is negative geotropism. It is growing away from gravity. The diagram below shows the early growth of a green plant. What is occurring in the diagram P and Q? So what is occurring here is mitosis. So it grows by mitosis. Then, of course, there's the development. So it's A. So the answer here is A. Okay. Then, question 26. Some of the seeds were sown in 4 dishes under different conditions as shown in the table. Dish, temperature, weight. Which dish will the seed germinate most rapidly? So we need suitable temperature, not 1 degree. So suitable temperature, but also moisture. So this one is dry. So you're going to go for, that is 4, which is D. Temperature 20 degree, wet, which is the moisture. The diagram below shows their sexual reproduction in unicellular organism. What type of reproduction is this? So this is binary fission. That is binary fission. The diagram below shows the method of artificial vegetative propagation. This method we've already seen at some point. What type of artificial vegetative propagation is demonstrated in the diagram? So this is called budding. Okay. The diagram below shows some parts of the flower. Where are the male gametes produced? Which fruit will be dispersed by wind? Oh, wait, we've gone to the other question. So the diagram shows some parts of the flower. Where are the male gamete produced? So the male gamete are produced in C, which is the anther. Which fruit will be dispersed by wind? A fish, freshly and scented? No. Long, weight, or lightweight and has wings? Yes. Lightweight and has wings. Which of the following will be dispersed by wind? Lightweight and has wings. The diagram below shows the female reproductive system. Where does fertilization occurs? It occurs in A, which is the fallopian tube. The diagram below shows the method of, we are on to question 32, method of birth control. Which one is hormonal? So the one that involves use of pills. 33, a study was made on children whose mother was blood group O. So the mother was blood group O, which means OO, and the father whose blood group AB. So the father is AB, which means the genotype is AB. Which statement about the children is true? All will have the same blood group? No. 50% will have the same blood group. Is it true? Look at this. O. Then A, B. Look at this. This will be A, O. Then again, this will be B, O. This will be, let's see, A, O. Again, A, B. Okay, I mean B, O. So 50% will have the same blood group. We have AA, BB. Okay, so 50% will have same blood group, will have the same blood group as their mother. No. 50% will have the same blood group as their father. No. None of them will have the same blood group as their parent. Yeah, this. Which of the following is the beneficial or use of, which of the following is the beneficial use of mutation? So beneficial use of mutation in farming, it is used to produce what we call polyploid plants in agriculture. So have a look at this part. Which of the following are the characteristics of a fish? Maintain constant body temperature? No, it doesn't. So external ears? No, it doesn't have. Then jelly covered egg? Yes. Scales, yes. So the answer is D. Which factor will cause decrease in population size? A, decrease in death rate. Which factor will cause decrease in population size? Decrease in death rate, it means people will be living. Decrease in disease, it means people will be living. Decrease in food supply, decrease in predation. Decrease in food supply, decrease in predation. Predation is where you don't kill them. So the answer is C there. Okay, so the answer for 36 is C. Okay, let us look at the next one now, which is 37. Okay, which is 37. So for 37, the question is, the diagram below shows part of the carbon cycle. What does RX represent? So where carbon dioxide is being taken to the atmosphere. So this represents respiration. So it represents respiration. 38, which of the following is the effect of deforestation? Which of the following is the effect of deforestation? So decrease carbon dioxide content in the air. Does it decrease the carbon dioxide content in the air? Decrease flooding of low-lying land, increase rainfall, increase rate of erosion. Now, it does not increase rainfall. Some of the examples of waste product of human activity are discarded household rubbish. Some of the examples of waste product of human activity are discarded household rubbish, excessive fertilizer, industrial chemicals, and treated sewage. Which of the following can cause the increased growth of aquatic plants? So it is untreated sewage and excess fertilizer. So 2 and 3. Okay, we have 2 and 3. That is 2 and 4. 2 and 4, please, which is the C. Which of the following is the sustainable use of resources? Deforestation, game keeping, overfishing. So the answer is B. All right, we are up to 2024 paper. That is the November paper. Let us look at what we have here. Which characteristic of living organism involve ingestion, absorption? Okay, so let us look at the 2024 paper now. And the first question in this case was the characteristic of living organisms involve ingestion, absorption, and assimilation. Which characteristics of living organism involve ingestion, absorption, and assimilation? So this is nutrition. Which cell organelle is involved in respiration? The mitochondria. That is where energy is produced. Which of the following is true regarding the active transport? So it involves the use of energy. So input of energy is not required. Allow particles to move, no. Occur against concentration gradient, yes. The diagram below shows or demonstrates enzyme specificity and the stages which an enzyme controlled reaction occur. Identify LM, N, and O. So L is an enzyme, M is a substrate, N is the active site, O is the product. So the answer is A. Which of the following is not a good source of liquids or lipids? Which of the following is not a good source of lipids? Avocado, they are good source. Castor seed, they are good source. Caterpillar, a good source. Cheese, good source. Caterpillar are not good source, please. So caterpillar are not good source, but cheese is a good source. Which of the following food nutrient promote peristalsis? So roughage. A diet rich in iron is ideal for which group of people? So rich in iron, ideal for pregnant women. Ideal for pregnant women. The diagram shows part of a leaf. Which part shows epidermal cell? So it is A. Which of the following is an example of organism which carries out saprophytic nutrition? So rhizopus. The following diagram shows the human tooth. Identify the tooth, and its function. So this is a canine and is used for tearing of flesh. Okay. Which of the following food nutrients is an end product of digestion along the alimentary canal? Amino acids, cellulose, fats, and proteins. So the answer is amino acids. These others are not end, they are macronutrients, in other words. Which of the changes occurs during the diaphragm? Which of the changes occur to the diaphragm and external intercostal muscles when the person breathes in deeply? The diaphragm contracts. The external intercostal muscles also contracts. I think we've looked at this question at some point, so it's more like just a repetition. Which of the following is the correct word equation for anaerobic respiration in man? Which of the following is the correct word equation for anaerobic respiration in man? So anaerobic respiration in man is called lactic fermentation, and this is D. Lactic acid is produced and energy. Which of the following can help to reduce the causes of stigma to people living with human immunodeficiency virus? So sensitization. This question, we've answered it at some point as well. The following diagram shows the tissue in the section of a root of a green plant. Identify the parts 1, 2, 3. So this is the epidermis, that is the phloem, that is the xylem. So the answer is A. Jane had blood group A. She needs a blood transfusion. From which blood can she receive blood? From which blood group can she receive? So it starts from A and O, and you should be able to tell the reason why. The following diagram shows the relationship between the blood circulatory system and the lymphatic system. Which labeled part represents the lymph capillary? So the lymph capillary is this one, which is B. Which of the following is an excretory product of the lungs? Carbon dioxide. Which of the following are the important organs in homeostasis? So is the liver important? So lungs are important. Skin is important. Now, when you talk of the sweat gland, they are found in the skin. So this one disqualifying this. Liver, kidney, and skin. Liver, heart, not heart. Lungs, heart, and not heart. So we are going for B. The liver, the kidney, and the skin is what we are going for. And therefore, the answer here, we are looking at this one to be B. The answer to be B. Question 21. The diagram below shows, or the diagram shows the cross-section through the human spinal cord. Which of the following labeled part is a relay neuron? Which of the part labeled is a relay neuron? So the relay neuron is C. The following diagram shows the defective eye of the person. So this is the long-sightedness. Okay. Identify the defect and how it could be corrected. So this is long sight, and of course use of a convex lens. So B. The bone of a skull, ribs and sternum, and vertebral column form up what we call axioskeletal. The diagram below shows the plant shoot and invertebrates in relation to their response to stimuli. Which response are being demonstrated by organism? So invertebrates are learning out from light. This is the negative phototaxis. Plants is growing toward light. That is positive phototropism. So we have plant shoot, positive phototropism, then negative phototaxis, which is D. Which of the following differentiated cell is thickened with lignin and provide support to the stem of the plant? This is called the selenchiema. So look at the parenchyma, the chorenchyma, and selenchiema. What are they? The diagram shows the types of germination. What type of germination is shown in the diagram? So this cotyledon comes out. So this is called epigeo, and because the cotyledon is carried out on the ground, so the answer is A. What type of asexual reproduction occur in yeast? That is called budding. The following diagram represents the method of natural propagation. Which method of natural propagation is shown in the diagram? This is the runner. The diagram shows the generalized type of plant, flower, or the diagram below shows the generalized structure of a flower. Identify the part X. So the part X is the stigma. Diagram below shows the structure of insect-pollinated flower. Which feature of the diagram shows the flower cannot self-pollinate? Look at this. It cannot self-pollinate because it has short filament. Okay, so short filament. Set 1, which of the following correctly states the function of the prostate gland and seminal vesicles? So we've looked at this part where we are coming from. So the function is prostate gland enables the sperm to swim, not to kill, and provide nutrients for seminal vesicles. Okay. Which of the following is the natural method of birth control? Natural method of birth control. Rhyme method, where you look at the safe period. Genetic characteristics expressed in an organism is called what? A trait. A trait. Finally, let us look at 2025. So the 2025 paper is recorded separately just on this platform. So make sure that you go through it. So please make sure that you go through the separate part of this paper is recorded right on this platform. So it has been a journey where we started from 2015 and now we are concluding to 2025 paper. Okay, so like I said, this is recorded already, and maybe you can just scroll through the paper. Otherwise, it's recorded already, is on this platform, and these are the questions that came in this particular paper. That is how it was. Otherwise, we've come to the end of the revision. If you've enjoyed the lesson up to this point, don't forget to subscribe. It has been 5 hours of learning, and I guess you have revised biology to the max. Otherwise, see you in the next one.